How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the 1IQ Football Talk, part of 1IQ Sports Talk, and we are here getting ready for our Thursday night game prediction where the Dallas Cowboys head into New Jersey to take on the New York Football Giants. This is a football game.
Yeah, yeah, they're gonna play football, definitely. I mean both these teams right now, man, like the Giants with a just wild, I mean, I guess we can still technically call it an upset of the Browns with how bad the Giants have been. Yeah, the Browns have been bad too, but it was an upset. It shocked a lot of people. And then, the Cowboys, a little more predictably, ended up getting beat up by the Ravens. It was a closer game. But I'm sure they're looking at that now going, fuck, we really should have gone after Derrick Henry instead of Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, right now I look at the Giants and I go, Malik Neighbors is single-handedly going to save Daniel Jones this year. Like from what we're seeing Malik Neighbors do, it is just purely insane. Funny enough, I saw a stat today that said, wide receivers that are doing stuff with 100 yards, and it basically, like, I forget the exact stat, but it just showed the first three wide receivers: Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Romo Dunze, and it was a funny thing. I wish I would have retweeted it or something so that I could recall it, but Malik Neighbors, he right now, I would have to say, is the front runner for rookie of the year. I know Jaden Daniels has been doing some good stuff, but Malik Neighbors is single-handedly making Daniel Jones look good.
Yeah,
Three out of
yeah,
Daniel Jones's four passing touchdowns has gone to him. 271 yards, 23 catches. He has just been an absolute machine, and I'm actually really looking forward to Malik Neighbors versus Trayvon Diggs, because Trayvon Diggs, sure, he's gotten a fair amount of interceptions in his career, but he also gives up a lot of yards.
yep. Yeah, and even if it was on the other side, if they don't shadow Malik Neighbors entirely, it's Durham Bland on the other side who also
Does the
he can make
exact
some
same
plays,
thing.
but he gets burned bad. And you just gotta hope that Malik Neighbors can maintain this through 17 games, because that's the thing. They're calling on him a lot. And look at what happened to Saquon Barkley when he was the workhorse and he was asked to do everything for this team. He ended up getting hurt again and again and again until he finally just said, to hell with this place. I'm going to go play in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
And you just got to hope that Malik Neighbors finds a way to preserve himself, take care of himself. And, if Daniel Jones throws him into a bad spot, maybe just pull up and go, you know what, I'm not catching that one because I'm going to lose my teeth if I do.
yeah. So far through 3 games, the amount of targets that good old Malik Neighbors has is 37. 37 in 3 games. So that means he's over 11 targets per game type situation.
That's
I
like,
know I think it might even be closer to like 12 point something targets per
yeah,
game.
yeah.
But
That's Keenan Allen numbers from last year with the Chargers,
yeah,
honestly. Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's
Keenan
that's like
Allen was like
Michael
a
Thomas
proven
numbers.
Pro Bowl veteran. Like, it's
Yep.
just nuts. But yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's sustainable for him to keep doing this, honestly. And again, they beat the Browns.
Yes.
Big what? The Browns are the Cleveland Browns. I know people get hyped on them every year, and I know I'm biased because I'm a Steelers fan, but I say it every year. The Cleveland Browns are a shit organization that can't be trusted. They don't know how to build a proper football team. Yeah, great. They have one of the best coaches in the league. Kevin Stefanski is a
Amazing.
brilliant coach. He's great.
Amazing.
But you can be as good as you want if you got a guy who doesn't care and then a bunch of dudes on defense that are hurt because they have to do everything. Like, and I know this because the Steelers last year, that was our issue, is the defense had to do everything and it didn't work out. Man, I feel bad for Cleveland Browns fans, but also you did this to yourself by being a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah, it's a tale of an organization that is just such an
Yeah.
interesting conversation. That's something that we'll have to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Just talk about, make a video about bad organizations and the pain they give on their fans. But back to this Thursday night game. This Cowboys team coming into the year, we looked at them and said, you know what? Neither of us like the Cowboys. Outside of our divisional teams, we would say I would safely say we both hate the Cowboys probably the most outside of our divisional teams.
Now that Tom Brady's not in New England, yeah. For a while there it was the Patriots for me. You
Yes,
know,
yeah,
because yeah, obvious reasons.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I can't stand the Cowboys.
But we
But
both collectively looked at this team and said they're probably going to be one of those teams that's going to win 11, 12 games. They're going to be in the playoffs. The Cowboys fans are going to be going, it's our year just to be bounced in the first round. And we're going to repeat this cycle over again until Jerry Jones eventually dies and then a new person comes in and goes, we're actually going to not get bounced in the first round anymore. We're actually going to win we're going to be a good organization. We're not going to have that Jones stank over it, but lose to the
I,
Saints in week 2,
yeah,
lose to the Ravens in week 3. You beat the Browns in week 1.
I still think the Cowboys could be a 10 or 11 win team by the end of the season. That is still possible. They still may make the playoffs. They still may get bounced in the first round.
Yep.
And we'll still have to deal with those Cowboys fans. I made that joke at one today at work, and I was like, I thought this was supposed to be your year. And I just saw him go, I wish we had signed Derrick Henry. I was like, yeah, I bet you do. Everybody
Especially
in the
after
league,
that game.
everybody wanted that guy. That's why he's the king. But we talk a lot at this time of year about get right games. This is that for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a
It
big
has to be.
divisional matchup. You have to. You have to get right here. You can't just squeak out a win either. You need to impose your will on the New York Football Giants in New York. You need to go in there in their home and you need to make a statement in order to build that confidence back up before you go next week and go up against what is arguably the best defense in the league.
I don't
Like
even
you
think it's
need,
arguably anymore.
I don't think so. After last week, definitely not. And so like you need to get right and you need to get that confidence before you have to go into Pittsburgh on Sunday night and go against that Steelers defense because they will shred you if you go in there limping after losing to the Giants.
Yeah, I look at this Cowboys team and I always said that I don't think this Cowboys offense is going to be particularly stellar. I think Dak Prescott is going to be average Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb is going to be average CeeDee Lamb. And I'm not saying they're like average players. I'm saying what they've shown us over the average for these last couple of years.
Average for them.
Yeah, average for them. But after that, I go Ezekiel Elliott. Like the second that I saw that signing, I just immediately started laughing when you're now paying Elliott 2 different contracts because you're still paying him that contract that you cut him for last year. And it's just funny to see. And I went, there's no one else on that Cowboys offense that scares me. The Cowboys defense was one thing that I always looked at and went, this is a good defense. But this year, it's almost like they're not care. It's like they just don't care. Like they're not
Yeah.
playing with effort. They're not playing with urgency. Micah Parsons was one of those guys where I said, if we're gonna have a third guy in this defensive player of the year race between Max Crosby and TJ Watt, I viewed him as that kind of guy of going like, okay, like he's gonna be the boogeyman. But this defense I don't think it inspires fear in anyone. And this Giants team, if they want to win this game, they have to look at this and go, you don't scare us. We have Malik Neighbors. You should be scared of us. But yeah, this Giants team, their defense is good. I don't necessarily think it's as good as we initially thought at the start of what they were going to do on paper. This offense, Daniel Jones has been better from week 2 on, week 2 and week 3, but it could very easily go back to a situation where Daniel Jones does Daniel Jones things where he just throws 3 interceptions and looks terrible. And it's, yeah, he's gone up against 2 pretty bad defenses these last 2 weeks, and that's been kind of good. But as we talked about, Deron Bland and Trevon Diggs are both solid corners, man. They give up a bunch of
Well,
yards, but they can also pick you off at any given time.
I mean, even the Browns, like I believe it's Denzel Ward who's their number one corner, and he's no slouch.
No,
He's one of the better corners in the league as well. So it's not that the Giants have gone up against bad defenses. The Browns are still a good defense, but I almost wonder if that's the issue with this Cowboys defense. We talked about it last season with the Steelers. The defense has to do so much, they get fatigued and they just
yes.
get worn down. We're going to be talking about that this year with, I think, the Bears defense, unfortunately. They're just going to get so fatigued, they're going to get worn down. Same with the Browns. That's what happened. I think that's been happening to them since last year. So that's why they're
Oh,
so
totally.
exhausted and on the back foot. And maybe that's what's happening to these Cowboys. They came in a little fresh to start the season against that Browns team, and then they just got lit up against those Saints. And then last week, they just got so brutalized by a physical Baltimore Ravens team who were playing football the way I said they need to play if they're going to be successful this
Hand the
year.
ball off to Derrick Henry 25 times a
Exactly.
game, and you're gonna
Use,
win.
use the king for what he's there for. You didn't sign him to have him warm the bench. Use it. And so it could just be a case of fatigue, and that's why I still think this is the get right game. The Giants are going to come in cocky, arrogant because they got to win, and they might shock the Cowboys to start out the game. Dak Prescott is a fairly composed quarterback. He is good at playing in any situation. It doesn't matter if he's down by 20, he still plays the same quality as if he was up by 20. And so that is a good thing for this Dallas Cowboys team. Even if the Giants are able to come out and shock them to start out, I think he'll be able to will this Cowboys team back into it. And ultimately, I do think the Cowboys will win this game. Giants have won one. That's not enough for me to start picking them on a weekly basis. Even though the Cowboys have also only won one game, they've looked better in their losses than the Giants did. So I will be picking the Cowboys to win this game.
And the spread for this game is -6 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't think the Giants cover that.
Yeah, looking at this game, as much as we've been talking about the Cowboys just kind of not getting it right at this moment, but they have looked so much better against the teams that they've ended up losing to. They've both ended up beating the Browns, which the Giants didn't look that impressive beating up the Browns, and the Cowboys did. And the Cowboys have had to go up against some serious competition. So I have the Cowboys winning this game pretty easily. I think that -6 point spread is going to be covered. Unfortunately for us, we're going to have to listen to the Cowboys fans going, "Oh, we just needed this game to just get things going." Or did I? Yeah, Cowboys fans.
Yeah,
They're going to be kind of saying this after this week, so we're going to have to
that's
kind of
okay.
listen to that, and which is fine.
Oh, yeah, I'll look at them and go, great. You beat the fourth place team in the division that you're sitting third place in.
Technically sitting in fourth place.
Well, right now, yeah, they're that's what I mean. If they beat the Giants, they'll be sitting in third while the Giants are
Oh
in
yeah,
fourth.
well, because technically the Cowboys are sitting in fourth place, and the
Yeah,
Giants are
they're
in
I think
third.
they're tied.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is this for our Thursday night game predictions. Thank you to Sterling, and we would like to say thank you all very much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and to comment on the video as it really helps out. Definitely the videos have been doing a lot better recently, and we thank you all very much. But for Sterling, I'm Brendan saying peace.